Hello there, this is Cookies. I've got, I think, turn 27 now in episode 3. I don't think I've ever gone at this pace before, but the first part of this game was pretty boring, so glad to be through it now. And we see that McCone has also attacked TNN, so they've got similar ideas. At this point, I now open dialogue with McCone. I didn't realize that they were also going to attack TNN. And we discuss a split of TNN. So we didn't pre-plan the 2v1, but we weren't opposed to the 2v1 either. And this is our initial army. Much more scary than the expansion parties. But it is on hold and attack closest. There is some attack rear weaknesses to this script. So hopefully I fix that. And then we're casting Knowledge of the Crystals at Ripewoods. What does that do? Oh, so it's a scry spell, a national scry spell that you get in DE. Here's Basalt Vein from last episode. Gives you extra resources. And then, does it say how many? I don't know, but I'm able to get my Sacred Rack, which is nice. We've started making a lot of thug gear. We're making it using, as often as possible, the inept researchers. But, you know, we do use some of these guys, but it's not so much. It's like 7 RP. But we're starting to roll out our little Basalt Kings, which is really nice. So we're going with Stingers, which are AP. They're more expensive in DE, but they're still decent. Then a lot of the gear. A lot of the gear gets discounts. So 18 attack, 28 damage with AP. So these guys should be able to hit elves and kill them, especially after doing some buffs. So we've got Quicken Self, Stone, Personal Stone Skin, Temper Armor, Strength of Giants, Breath of Winter. As like an initial script. I suppose I haven't talked about research at all, but we've got Alt 2, Construction 1, Enchantment 2, and this is what we're picking up. The order might change a little bit. Getting Rings of Tamed Lightning. In case he does some, rolls out some like, oh, what is it? Shocking Grasp Thugs or Shockwave Thugs. I forget the name of the spell, but I mean, there's a lot of lightning stuff. And then we're in position, so we're going to go ahead and besiege this with this force. So this is another force with a lot of stuff. We got 100 troops here. We got 129 troops here. We've cracked the fort. We're going to rotate this fort onto Storm, or this group onto Storm. I don't think there's a lot of elves inside. So we're going to try a smaller group and try to keep taking territory. I want to secure what I agreed upon allotment. McCone's going to go for the cap here. And then, but yeah. And then we've got like little raiding parties. So you can see this is a raiding party. We got this little group following up behind. Got a thug here. So you can see all the stuff that we're doing. We've got a surprising amount of stuff, actually. And we're making pretty fast progress. It kind of depends who TNN wants to fight, if they want to fight McCone or if they want to fight me. But it's a very tough war. It's hard to kill stuff for TNN. No one's been defeated yet. And here's the throne picture. I'll go ahead and pull up the next turn, turn 28. Okay, so we do get some fighting with TNN. So we'll go ahead and go through this. So we've got an elf here with a nature gem. We know what I'm doing, so let's check out what the elf does. Personal region. No gear on this guy, though. It does have a golden lance, which is pretty nice. Shroud of Bewilderment is really nice. It causes enemies to hit each other. I forget if it relies on... I don't think there's a tag for it in the game. I forget if it's an MR check. But you can see it's playing havoc on our poor little dudes. So they're all attacking each other now. Now, Coral Guard have a little bit higher MR at 11. And this guy has more potential to kill himself on poison, although he's got 15 PR, so never mind. But we do eventually harass down the elf and kill it. So, one elf down. We just lose a little bit of PD. And there's probably going to be a lot of replay bugs here. So we got another elf, same script. What are we rolling out here? This looks like just PD. So he ought to be able to kill this. All right. So wins this one. We move into Listless Lands. Don't find much. Farseer Mountains, don't find much. Xanthrast. Looks like I think we just rout this guy is what ends up happening. But he kills a fair number of our Coral Guard. And if you remember, these heavy infantry are scripted to attack cavalry. So we get this round and he runs. Yeah. So that was here. So not a bad outcome. We only lose 60 gold worth of stuff. And we do take the province. In Grillian, he jumps on our farm here. And this guy's got a Ring of the Victor, which has some nice stat buffs. So up at 23 defense, but here we've got our Thug, who has a little bit higher attack values. You know, this guy doesn't have a way to bless himself to get my bless, which is sad. But he is pretty spooky. He's got Chill 10 now. Still has some decent resist with the Ring of Tame Lightning, 2 Ice Swords, and a Bite. So all fairly high attacks with a lot of damage. 27 protection and 51 hit points. And this guy, he hits for 20 damage, which is, you know, that's a hard-hitting elf, but... And with 19 attacks, so, I mean, this could be a pretty serious little fight. Getting infected by a Shroud of Bewilderment, but this guy does have a little bit better MR. And it helps to have the PD here, because this guy's getting harassed a bit. So down at 16 defense, that's when we should be hitting a lot more consistently. So then we just have to get through the mirror images, and then we can kill him. So I believe that's what happens in this one. Yeah, so we win that thug fight, and then in Sea of Rond, we even get attacked underwater, which is neat. So a new Azure Amulet. Only costs 3 water. Now hammers in DE only give you a discount of 1. So with a hammer, this would cost 2 water gems. It also gives gift of water breathing, which is pretty nice. There's quite a bit of gift of water breathing. But I had PD dumped the Amber clan. So they just harass down and kill the elf. So the living pillars don't even make it into combat. Then in Smacia, it's just a little bit of PD. All right, so all in all, raiding went extremely well for me, which makes sense. And then we get a big fight on TNN's cap. All right, so let's take a look at this. We got tons of Ectromos and Hoplites, a whole bunch of Clockworks. Yeah, the Clockwork Smith gives you Clockworks. Duh. But it's only the ones that fatigue out, I think. So yeah, they've all got the exhaustion mechanic, which now caps at 150. So at least they don't die from exhaustion, which was always stupid in the past. Really glad Illwinter made that change where they capped it so that the units didn't just destroy themselves. They would just tire out, and then lore-wise, you just like run the clock again, and then they can do stuff. Has a bunch of mages here, but TNN's gathered the army, so we've got most of the Sacreds, more She-Lords. You can see all the gems here. From the Grie, the Tuatha Sorceress. So, expecting a lot of stuff here. Very early in the game, well, maybe not early in the game to have Hal. It blew my mind, though, seeing Hal. Because my research is not that good yet. This guy's a neat hero. So it has Dagda's Claw, which AoE 1 does a shit ton of damage. This is a guy you definitely want to thug out. I think he's also a seducer, has stealth, so crazy assassin, really nice paths. Do they have sacred? Yeah, so it's just a mage blast. He did pick up water breathing in case he ever needed to fight me, which I'm gonna be honest, I don't think you need to do in DE. I think with even a fairly low water income, you can make all the items you would ever need, especially on Macone, to go invade a water nation. So I think it's pretty unnecessary, but maybe it's a little less micro. But I wouldn't be spending bless points just to reduce a little bit of micro. The unaging and the reinvig is really nice, though. Not another particularly scary bless, though. So I like that TNN took the fight outside of his cap here. It was a really tough battle. It would have been really hard to win. The wolves from Hal won't really do anything. But I think you have to at least try, because otherwise you're just conceding the game pretty much. So, but yeah, a tough defeat, loses 78 to Atha. In the actual fight, this hero dies as well, which is really sad. Should have maybe tried to thug this guy out. I think this guy would have been a great giant killer. I mean, an AoE 1 attack that hits for this much damage can absolutely, he can just, if he's thugged out maybe in some way where he's a little bit more durable, because he's only got 3 prot here, then you can absolutely, like, you can do the assassinations in a siege, and then you can also, I mean, you just delete these giants like one every turn, I think, because especially if he's thugged out, maybe point buffed a little, maybe you can hit hard enough to do enough damage. At least you would 2-hit these guys. But yeah, would absolutely wreck these giants potentially. So I do think losing that guy was maybe a mistake, but you have to try. So maybe he did do some point buffing on this guy. Does kill 10 hoplites, 26 Ectromos. The Ectromos have much weaker armor than the hoplites. And then all the clockworks end up dying because they fatigue out, so if anything gets into combat with them, they just start folding as long as they get hit hard enough. 3 of the Effers die. But yeah, victory for McCone. So TNN is put under siege. We catch Helheim here, and I was hearing rumors that Helheim was expanding like crazy, and that they were fighting 3 different players. And this is their bless. Unholy weapons, awe, fire shield, and invulnerability. Extremely scary bless. So no wonder. So this little pack of Valkyries is going after Chaco. And yeah, doesn't take them long. And this is a flying raiding group with 28 map move, 26 map move, I guess, net. And then we've got the Fortress of Ripewoods. We're pinging it, seeing how many elves are home. Turns out they were all at the capital, so we're going to go ahead and storm. We get a couple wounded from that global, but again, and a lot of our troops have really high HP, so we're even accounting for the water that we're normally in, we're going to take less attrition from that. All right. So we're going to go ahead and raid this. We're going to roll out some counter raiders and start getting them out down here, try to cut off the elves. Again, we can make parties pretty quickly here. So maybe every turn or 2. And so we can very rapidly just kind of cover this whole area in little raiding parties. So we'll catch the elves eventually. And it's just the one elf, yeah. We've got Farseer Mountains under siege. We're going to go ahead and move on to Gentle Plains and Unknown Marshes. I think these guys are starving, which is not great. No, actually we aren't. That's nice. So yeah, we're gonna move in here. I think this is where we drew the border with McCone. And we can see more McCone stuff here. So yeah, so really nice battle that we got to see between McCone and TNN, but otherwise our part in this war is already starting to come towards an end. We got some forts to storm, but and a couple of elves to catch, but it's been pretty easy on us. Most of the fighting is being done by McCone, and we're getting pretty significant spoils. We're looking at getting 3 forts. This cave system is all connected, so we're looking at getting this cave system. And here we find a lab, and we find a Tower of the Silver Order. And here we get Astral Air Mages, and this is insane. So this breaks us, I mean, we have the Air 2 guy, but this gives us recruitable air 2 guys. So this represents air buffs, or just breaking into air, at least lower air. So, I mean, with an air 3, you could potentially empower a guy and break into high air, so it does give you the option. But, yeah, and then it breaks us into astral as well, so we can do stuff like anti-magic and whatnot. We get magic phase options. Honestly, if I'd known this guy was here, the war would have been worth fighting just for this mage. So we'll absolutely want to build a fort here at some point. And then we're going to go ahead and do a scry spell on Farseer. But other than that, yeah, it's mostly mopping up operations for us. So that's turn 28. I think I've got time to do turn 29. Okay, so I've got turn 29 here. We see Vanheim go ahead and raid the swamp. They wanted that swamp. McCone moves on to Wicker Woods. We move on to Ancient Woods. Goes for that throne. So they've got like a new sprite for the Enkidu Spear Guard. And these sprites look pretty nice. Now, these guys, unlike the chariots from the finals casting where I thought they could wade and they couldn't because they were trampling chariots, these guys can wade. So what you want to do with these guys is deploy them behind. All these guys make contact, and then the Mitsushu filter forward. They're also unblessed. I don't... Oh, I guess the bless is gone because the pretender is dead. So in this replay, it looks like wins. Do they actually win? Yeah, they do. They do lose some stuff, not much, but it's worth getting that throne. Let's see. TNN pings McCone, but uses their hero to do it. This guy's got a bunch of air gems. What's he gonna do? Just like a thunder strike or something and then leave? Nope. I don't know why he's holding all the air gems. Alright. And then let's see, we go ahead and raid this. Go ahead and raid this. We get hit by a little bit more lightning. We find some gold. Our scout gets found out by Bante. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. I think he's... So Bante has blood magic, so he might be getting Blood Hunt Patrol Chaff. And we go ahead and breach Ripewoods. Oh, and I guess my plan is I wanted to have this thug here to help storm the fort. So I waited a couple of turns. There was no rush. We're preaching here and getting the Dominion set. Sieging this and preaching it as we siege down these forts. We're going to send this crew through the caves. And then... Yeah, and then we've got all these little raiding parties, so we're going to cover all of these provinces with a little raiding party to catch this elf. And we have not yet started recruitment here, and I really think that was a mistake, but part of me did not want to let McCone know that this mage was here, so we were waiting. Although I think McCone gets spies anyways, but I wanted to delay him knowing for as long as possible until we could get these forts and maybe start construction here. And then We also need to protect that province, so we need patrollers there to be able to recruit there, because TNN might raid it back. So you can see our recruitment. All right. But, I mean, the battles were pretty easy this turn. TNN doesn't have much left in the tank, so maybe we can cover turn 30? Okay, so we got turn 30 here. Yeah, here we go. So we do get raided by a couple of She-Lord thugs. I don't know where that little temporary gem came from. I think a lot of my scrubs were something like attack cavalry, trying to catch these guys rather than attack closest. Yeah, they're getting bewildered. They don't know what to do. They're kind of hitting each other. So in this replay, we lose. But in the actual fight, we kill both. We lose our entire little raiding party. But this PD commander, I guess, holds on. But you can see we did some self-killing from Shrouded Bewilderment. So I guess this one was pretty close. And then McCone. Okay. So what happened here was Vanheim vultured this cap circle province. McCone didn't like it, so he just went and took it. And I think they'll end up okay with this arrangement. We see Muspelheim besieging Zion, and Vanheim's been fighting Zion too. We can also see Helheim all over the place. So down here in Chaco land, down over here along Theranos' border. So I heard they were expanding like crazy. We've cracked this fort. And I think I'm going to bring in thugs to help siege it. Yeah, so each storm party gets a thug, I guess. And then we go ahead and storm here. It goes fine. Suppose I can show the thug running through it. And what's nice is having the thug here means he'll also get blessed. So we'll be up at 21 MR. There we go. Easy. And that's because we're not having to do all the fighting. TNN. Gosh. Let's see. So we can... I suppose I spoiled that battle, but we see here a big pan army going after Arco. So I think it was a coalition on Arco because of that global. It's the kind of global that pisses people off, but it doesn't actually do enough to dissuade them from attacking you. Let's see. This shouldn't be much. Yeah, it's just a monkey PD. So let's see the battle here. So yeah. McCone doesn't leave anyone outside of the fort. I think he just thought everything was dead. So he's storming here. But there's a shocking number of mages here. And I like this move from McCone. I like getting wars over quickly. I know most players would ping, though. So I'll acknowledge that. In this case, it would have been better to ping. But yeah, these 21 damage Thorn Spears. I mean, he's getting some really interesting summons. We've got Forest Giants. They hit like a truck, too. Trolls. So looking for people that can hurt these giants. Even got animated armor, which is neat. Water Weirds, which have a AP Crush attack. And then a whole bunch of mages in the back. We've even got Fey Knights. So just kind of running down Conjuration, it seems like. Which is really cool. Spending their gems, summoning a bunch of stuff. You can see the beginning of the flood of the clockworks that Makon's starting to get. It's kind of hard to see the effects of Hal and see the gate fight, so I'm going to prioritize the gate fight. Guess Makon's a little bit more in. But these guys have not done like a personal iron skin. They might self-buff it, because it is vanilla casting. And these guys have 62 hit points. They're no joke. And was this 5 attacks? You can see the mages back here struggling with the wolves. Yeah, most of them don't have any protection. Very little protection. So as these wolves come in, they're gonna slowly whittle down these mages, and they're pulling a lot of fatigue and evocations away. Alright, we'll speed it up a bit. So now it's less about the gate battle and more about what the wolves are doing. And one squad breaks. So now it's just this prophet back here. Only 16 HP though. He is in enemy dominion. And then the break. So TNN actually defends this storm attempt. And they've got some Thunder Whip thugs, which are useful because they stun stuff. And then the other troops can come in and help kill them. So a really nice defense here from TNN. If I remember correctly, it's played by Tlemsha, so pretty good player. And yeah, so kills 10 effers, kills the Locos Prophet, kills a lot of the troops. Does lose some of the stuff, the 6 Forest Giants, 8 of the Trolls. I think units that retreat die for some reason. Mages come back, but the units die, which is kind of annoying. Loses 13 of the Thunder or Thistle Spear spirits. Whew. That's a tongue twister for me. And then Summer Lions go down, but it does free the cap, which is a pretty big deal. It means TNN gets to start recruiting again. Then we go ahead and storm Ripe Woods. But yeah, there's no one inside. I think I already showed that. Okay. So And then we've cracked this one. And we're going to go ahead and scry Gentle Plains. We're still kind of patrolling around, looking for stuff. We've even got a couple of thugs running around back here. Just I think they're also site searching. So it's just like armed site searching. They're not scripted to retreat. We're rotating some more troops over to Gentle Plains and getting some troops here to patrol. But yeah, I think we can go ahead and ooh, we're already at 35 minutes. I think we'll do one more turn and then maybe we can call that like the end of the TNN War. Okay, so we got another turn in. Go ahead and kill the cave indies. I'm not sure what this was. Maybe just like a ping and getting some units off upkeep. So it doesn't want these serfs. But this guy wasn't scripted to retreat, so I guess he's just getting rid of the commander too. And then, yeah, more fighting against Arco. We do lose a unit this turn. We got more of the little guys running around. Those are probably the ones dying. And then we breach Farseer Mountains. Although I think we had it breached last turn. So I guess, okay, we're storming this turn. So maybe I do one more turn. You can see we're still just kind of running around. And then McCone's getting ready to go back onto TNN. So yeah, maybe we sneak in one more turn. All right, so here's turn 32. Another dire portent. Wrath of Titans was dispelled. You can see how much people disliked it. Whole bunch of clockworks. So you can see the clockwork spam has really begun. Just hundreds of clockworks. They move right back onto TNN. More clockworks moving on to Hesperia. This Moosebull Goat gets killed by some Zion troops. Zion pings here, and we can see, or pings Muspelheim, and I guess the monolith is patrolling? Or no, this is on Zion. So the monolith has sat on Zion, and he's got a bunch of stuff. He's probably trying to dom kill it. He's also got a necromancer here. And then we got the battle at Farseer Mountains. So we'll go ahead and storm this. And there's a little bit more of the TNN War that we can cover in the next episode. But most of my part in this is done now. We've killed most of the raiders that have defended the portion, my allotted portion. I think there might still be one or two still running around. And we've taken 2 of the 3 forts. So we're in great shape. And then this is another mod. It's where if you aren't a high enough level to find something, you can send a more powerful mage, but it'll tell you. So you don't have to wonder. So it makes manual site searching a lot better. Also makes remote site searching more targeted and also a little bit better in that way. So yeah. So this is where we're at. We've taken these 2 forts. We're working on this one. It's probably about to get cracked. This group is rotating over. And we see another palisade down here. So it turns out we're going to get a 4th fort here. So we're going to move on to High Mill. If I remember right, I might have been here last turn or something. And then I decided to wait because there's no battle here. So I waited for this palisade to come up again. No reason to stop his fort constructions. And then, let's see. So other than that, yeah, I mean, our part is pretty much over. We're just going to take these last couple of forts. Probably a good time to cut off this episode as well. Here's the global thing. Pam put up Mother Oak. That's often something that happens early. Here's our research. All 3, Evo 2, Construction 3, a little bit better Thug Gear, Enchantment 3. So just a lot of little point buff magics. Baratos is already AI. So I consider that like the first KO. And then, we got a little bit of Thug Gear that we're making. Here's our complete inventory that we've made. The ice swords are just really cheap. They only cost 2. And it's our national gem type, so we're doing a lot of the helmets and a lot of the ice swords. Just a very cheap magic weapon. Here's our graphs. So you can see our little step up in provinces. And it should go up a little bit more. Should get a couple more forts. Income, gem income, even a little bit of blood income. We got research, Dominion. Our army size has been going up the whole time. So yeah, this war is a great war. It's gone well for us. Here's the throne picture. So you can see Ubar taking a bunch. And then maybe Marverni. No, McCone taking a couple, but things are moving. I'll zoom out a little. You can see my scouting this way. So Pan is on Arco's cap. Trying to see where all Helheim is, but you can see they are massive. They're all over the place. And then we've got Pyrenees and Yomi fighting down here. He's getting Swamp Ghosts. I looked up these. These are also have a Fear Aura. So I'm just like, where did Pyrenees get all these Fear Auras? He's got these thugs running around. I think we catch his Bless here. Or we probably caught it before, but no, we don't. Do we still not know it? Yeah, we do. So yeah, it's this monstrosity. So it's regen, obfuscate, awe 3, fire shield. So he's got like giant elves, which is crazy. And then with awe and regeneration and fire shield, it's a very defensive. Plus all the point buffing he can do. Really nice bless. I believe the player for Pyrene in this game was Hashassin. I think it's like the Arabic way of saying assassin. And seems like a very good player as well. So the players I'm most concerned about right now are Pyrene and then Helheim. But I can't do anything about Helheim, so I'm not super worried about them yet. But definitely worried about Pyrene down here. And if they take over Yomi, this is a really big border. They might invade me. So I'm invested in Yomi defending. But Yomi's just got this leadership bless. So it seems like they just kind of stick around longer to die to these thugs that they can't kill. So it's going to be tricky for Yomi. And then, yeah, we're going to work on taking these last couple of forts. So I think that's it for this one. This is pretty much the TNN War. We'll wrap it up in the next episode. But, I mean, McCone still has to take the capital as well. So we can save that for the next episode as well. I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good one. Bye.